Hello, this is my review of the new Netflix Halle Berry movie, Bruised. In addition to starring in the movie, Bruised is Halle's directorial debut. I have to say, I'm rooting for Halle because she's from Ohio, like myself. She's from Cleveland, and I was born and raised in Columbus, which is the birthplace of women's wrestling. I made a documentary about the Black women who integrated pro wrestling in the 1950s called Lady Wrestler, and that's another reason why I was interested in seeing Bruised. In the movie, Halle Berry plays Jackie Pretty Bull Justice, an MMA fighter who has failed at the one thing she is good at, which is fighting. And when her long lost son, Manny, who is 6 years old, turns up on her doorstep, it causes her to confront a lot of the demons in her life. I would describe Bruised as Precious meets Rocky. Bruised is a gritty drama, like Precious, but it is also an inspiring story of an underdog triumphing, like the movie Rocky and other sports movies. Bruised has some of the things you would expect in a sports movie, like a training montage, actually, a couple of different training montages. Bruised also has really good performances. Halle definitely deserves to be nominated for a Golden Globe or an Oscar for her portrayal of Jackie Justice. And it's interesting that the last name of Jackie's character is Justice, and she was married in real life to baseball player David Justice. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. As for Halle's directing, it's definitely competent. She went with a cinema verite type style with a lot of handheld camera. Now, I compared Bruised to Precious, and as in Precious, Halle Berry's character in Bruised has to navigate a rocky relationship with her abusive, neglectful mother. In Bruised, Adrienne Lennox plays Halle's mother, whose character is ironically named Angel because she's anything but. Lennox turns in a stellar performance, definitely on par with Monique's Oscar winning performance as the abusive mother, Mary, in Precious. I have to say that Danny Boyd, the child actor who plays Halle's son, is really talented. He's silent throughout most of the movie because of emotional trauma he suffered, and he conveys so much with just his facial expression and his tears. I don't know if those were real tears, but this little boy has a bright future ahead of him as an actor if he chooses to continue acting. Some other parallels between Bruised and Rocky is that just as Sylvester Stallone's main character in Rocky has to come to terms with the relationships in his life, so does Halle Berry's character Jackie. Whereas Rocky has to figure out his relationship with his girlfriend Adrian, Jackie has to figure out her relationship with her abusive boyfriend Desi, played by Aiden Canto. Also, as in Rocky, the fight trainers make a big difference in the lives of the main character in Bruised. Stephen McKinley, a great African American character actor who's been seen in Lady Bird and a lot of other well known movies, plays a trainer named Pops who works with Jackie. Pops is similar to the Burgess Meredith character, the trainer Mickey Goldmill in Rocky, sort of like a father figure to the main character. There's also a great storyline in Bruised involving a female trainer named Bobby, played by Afro-British actress Sheila Atim. Pardon me if I mispronounced her name. And there's a twist I won't reveal that really makes Bruised a 21st century movie as compared to Rocky. One critique I have of Bruised is that the setting doesn't really stand out. The city that Bruised is set in seems nondescript. Maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention, but I didn't catch the name of the city where Bruised takes place. Whereas a story like Rocky really makes the most of the city of Philadelphia, Bruised could be set in any gritty urban city. Hey, maybe Bruised is set in Halle Berry's hometown, Cleveland. Shout out to Cleveland. Something that definitely stands out about Bruised is its grueling fight scenes. The fact that Halle Berry made this movie while she had broken ribs is amazing. In an interview on NPR's Fresh Air that I really encourage you to check out, and I'll drop the link in the description to this video, Halle described how early on in the filming, and it may have even been the first day, she broke her ribs. But she continued filming because she knew that a small independent film like Bruised could not afford to be shut down for several weeks while she healed, as was the case with the John Wick movie that she was in, where she also broke her ribs. Halle is really in great shape, especially to be in her 50s. And the fact that she was able to pull off these really intense training and fight scenes is awesome. Another similarity between Bruised and Rocky is that the big culmination of the movie happens when the main character has to take on a menacing opponent in a big title bout. Jackie Justice fights a character named Lady Killer, played by real-life MMA fighter Valentina Shevchenko. I believe that's how you pronounce her name, and pardon me once again if I mispronounced it. The big climactic fight scene is very gripping and well directed. In her Fresh Air interview, Halle talked about how she would like for more women to be able to get into directing action movies and movies with fight scenes. And I have to give Halle her props in that she did a very credible job in directing the big climactic fight scene at the end of Bruised. Overall, I give Bruised 2 thumbs up. The movie shows how women in sports, as in life, really have to work twice as hard as a man to succeed. Bruised depicts in excruciating detail how women have to train really, really hard to excel and to be taken seriously. So if you get a chance, check out Bruised on Netflix.